Let's hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some frickin' money. It's time for Bucket with Jo. Hey, good morning, everyone. Jo here at SportsGrid. Ooh, the voice is voicing today. Let's make some freaking money. It's time for Bucket with Jo over here on SportsGrid TV. We got 6 games on the ice today, and we're gonna fly through these games because I know everyone is circling the N8 or the NFL today, and we definitely want to jump into those games. So make sure you check out the Madden Quickie now up on the SportsGrid app for my best bets in the early slate. Well, actually, across the day. We are going to start here with the matchup between the Carolina Hurricanes and the New York Rangers. Now, all odds are over on FanDuel. Got a total of 5.5, juice to that over at minus 122. We also have the Canes rolling in here at minus 150. You guys know my struggles betting with the Carolina Hurricanes on the road as of late. They've now lost their last 6 on the road. They've been so inconsistent out here. Solid at home, definitely not a team you want to fade at home, but looking at them in this matchup, I can't lay minus 150. Now they are taking on the New York Rangers. We know the Rangers have had their issues as of late. But at plus 125, is it worth a shot? I think it's definitely worth a shot on this team if they go down in this game. At plus 125 right now, I do still think they are live to get the win here at home. Igor Shesterkin expected in goal. Now they are off that win versus the Dallas Stars. Nice win over the Dallas Stars. Something I did not see happening out there. They got that 3-1 win. We look at Carolina. They're off that loss to the Washington Capitals. And yes, this is a team that can bounce back, but they lost Friday to the Caps 3-1. Battle of the Metro between these two teams. And what really stands out here is really looking at the Rangers in their last 4 games at Madison Square Garden. They've been able to get 3 wins out of the 4. We've also seen them against the Carolina Hurricanes last 8 matchups, winning 5 of those. So they have been strong versus Carolina. This is a team they step up for. Do they have enough in the tank to get the win here? I almost think they do. I just can't trust Carolina here on the road. Sorry, 5 straight games that they've lost out here on the road. I think today is number 6. You look at the Carolina Hurricanes. They've gone in 52 meetings versus New York Rangers, 15, 36, and 1. If you're willing to take the Canes here, I don't blame you because the Rangers are an absolute mess. This is a hold your nose kind of bet for me. And take here the New York Rangers. They're at the Devils tomorrow. We do have the Canes at the Predators. But again, battle of the Metro, 3rd in the Metro here for the Canes, 6th in the Metro for the Rangers. These two teams are going to bring it today in these matchups. Now, depending on who is able to come out and get the win will depend on what we're looking at tomorrow in that matchup. Again, a loaded slate out there on the ice tomorrow. So make sure you join me back here at noon Eastern. Now, if you're looking for that playmaker, the player that you can trust out there, we know Nikita Kucherov has been so strong. Sorry, not Nikita Kucherov. He's with the Tampa Bay Lightning. We're going to look at Panarin here for the Rangers. I think Panarin can step up in this one because Zibanejad is who I was thinking of, has been looking better as of late. But Seth Jarvis here for Carolina is someone who has success versus the Rangers. Seth Jarvis has scored a goal in each of the Canes' last 2 games versus the New York Rangers. So I like that recency. I like those players rolling in with that momentum as they know that they can score on this team. So I would look at Seth Jarvis. I would look at Panarin. I would look at Mika Zibanejad. Looking at the Anaheim Ducks, they're taking on the Utah Hockey Club. Now, the Ducks are quacking. They're coming in at plus 188. We're starting to get more and more value as the day goes on the Anaheim Ducks. The Utah Hockey Club rolling in here at minus 230. Yes, they've been winning games, but not a team that I can lay minus 230 on that. Puck line minus 1.5 at plus 116. Total of 6.5. It is juiced to that under 6.5 at minus 132. When I look at this one, I do think with how the Ducks have been locking down on the defensive side and with Dostal in goal, we should see this one stay under the total. Goaltending here for Utah, I'm not sure how much I do trust in Jackson Staber coming out here for Utah. So I'm looking here at Utah's team total. I'm going to take Utah's team total. It's coming in at 3.5. The under 3.5 goals for the Utah Hockey Club at minus 108. I just think with Dostal's ability to really limit those goals on him, I think he should be able to hold Utah to 3 goals at most. And we look at this defense. This defense has been playing solid out there. They've been locking down on opponents. So they don't want to get in a shootout in this game. We know the Ducks do struggle to score. So I'll take Utah's team total under. Now, Dylan Strome is a player that has had success out there. He's recorded at least 1 assist in 3 of the last 4 games for the Anaheim Ducks. So if you want to look at Dylan Strome for the point tonight, I definitely would have to go there. Have to take Gunther. I like Dylan Gunther as well. I think that's a nice way to look, Brian. The Florida Panthers and Tampa Bay Lightning. This is going to be an exciting one. These two teams get so scrappy out there, and we're going to look at whose power play, the special teams, is coming into play. Whose power play can do better and whose kill can be better today in this matchup. And now these two teams play today in Tampa. They play tomorrow in Florida. I'm expecting scrappiness out of these teams. I expect the scoring to open up fast in this one. So when we look at this total of 6.5, minus 122 to the under, plus 100 to the over, I think we could have overtime. So I'm staying off the full game total. But I could see this one opening up in the first, locking down in the second, locking down in the third. So again, I'm super cautious with that total for how this one plays out. I'm going to look at the over 1.5 in the first period. I'm going to look at both teams to score in the first period and then for that lockdown to happen. At that point, if we get 3 goals, 2 goals in the first period, I do think the under 6.5 will then become plus money, and that's where we want to hit this under 6.5. But again, it's dangerous because I think OT comes into effect. Overtime for this game coming in at plus 310. We're looking at a straight pick 'em either way of this. And I do think with how Florida has played in Tampa, it's got to be the Florida Panthers getting the win here today. It's like when we saw Montreal take on the Red Wings. We grabbed Montreal with the plus value that we were able to get. They got the win versus the Red Wings, and then we saw that second game where the Red Wings answered back in Montreal. I think we have a very similar one here, but I think Florida could take both of these games. They've won their last 3, and yes, the Tampa Bay Lightning have been rolling hot as well. They've won their last 4. They're off that win versus the St. Louis Blues on Thursday, and both of these teams off wins over the St. Louis Blues. So they beat the St. Louis Blues on Thursday. That was a 3-1 win. We saw the Florida Panthers need OT to get the 2-1 win versus the St. Louis Blues. The Blues were on the second night of a back-to-back. So you got to question how the Florida Panthers weren't able to hit them harder. Their defense, how it wasn't able to, or their offense wasn't able to show up more. I think between these two, because of the penalties, because of the ability on that power play, it is dangerous, this total to the under. But first period, I think, goes over, and then we get the lockdown. So we're looking at a power play conversion rate of 26.9% here. For the Panthers, 27.8%. So slight edge for the Tampa Bay Lightning. The kills are right on 80% for each, with a slight edge for the Florida Panthers at 80.6. It's going to be a battle. Braden Point, 21 goals and 17 assists on the season. I would look at Braden Point for his power play points tonight. Sam Reinhart, again, power play points. We know Sam Reinhart last season. He was absolutely phenomenal on the power play. You never wanted to count him out of that power play point. So Sam Reinhart, 20 goals, 23 assists, 43 points on the season again. Power play point here for Sam Reinhart, power play point for Braden Point. Nikita Kucherov has been so solid. He's been getting those assists on the board, at least 1 assist in each of his last 9 games out there on the ice. So Nikita Kucherov, definitely a playmaker you want to look at here for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Give me Florida to get the win. Give me the first period over 1.5 goals. Both teams to score in the first period at plus 160. Give me the lockdown. This one's still staying under the 6.5. But again, I want to live bet that. But I do think overtime. Hopefully it's not 3-3 going into overtime, and then that pushes us over the total. Let's look at the LA Kings. I know it's scary. The under. I am with you, Timothy. It's the under 6.5. Edmonton for the win. Can we find a way for Edmonton to lose that game? Timothy, we'll get into that game in the next couple of minutes. Vinny, good to see you here too, an Irish King. Thank you so much. Ottawa's playing well. I know Allmark is getting the start. This is going to be an absolute battle. We'll get back into it. I really do think Allmark, he's so freaking hot, you guys. How can we step in front of Allmark, especially when, well, Skinner's been hot too. So both those teams being hot. First, we need to talk the LA Kings. The LA Kings taking on the Washington Capitals. Now, we're seeing the Kings here coming into this game. Second night of a back-to-back. This is a strong suit for them, but versus this Washington Capitals team who's so solid at home, it's really hard to jump on the Kings. The Kings are plus 130. You guys know I love them. I love what their defense brings to the table. I love Kempe and Kopitar, those automatic, putting their points together. They will cash for you when you parlay those together. We got a total of 5.5, minus 110 to either side of the 5.5, and I do think it stays under that total. I think the Capitals can win, but the problem here with the Capitals getting the win, the LA Kings are coming in at plus 130, the Capitals at minus 156. You guys know we can't lay it. You can look at the Washington Capitals in reg at plus 100. Could the LA Kings push them to OT? It is kind of a possibility here. But we look at the LA Kings, I think this team is tired. This is the last game of a 7-game road trip. They lost last night to the Predators in overtime, 3-2. If last night's game hadn't gone to overtime, I would say, okay, the Kings lost 3-2. They didn't have to go to overtime. I give them a fighting chance to push this one to OT. With OT last night, I think this team will fall apart in that third period. If the Washington Capitals have the lead, I just don't see the Kings being able to push it. So I will take the Capitals here in reg at plus 100. They are 7-2-1 at home in their last 10 versus the LA Kings as well. And like I said, the Kings strong on that second night of back-to-back, but I don't trust the overtime. But they have won their last 6 on the second night of a back-to-back. I'm going to fade their team total here. I'm going to take it to the under 2.5. The Kings team total under 2.5 is coming in at minus 112. Logan Thompson has been phenomenally strong out there between the pipes, and I do think he stands nice and tall today. Now, the Capitals, I think, is worth a look in the first period. You guys know I love looking for that plus money and where we can find it. The Washington Capitals on the puck line in the first period to come out, hit David Rittich, and then hold on to a 1-0 lead is coming in minus a half a goal at plus 160. I want to get that bet in here in this one. Now, could it bite us? Yeah, it absolutely could. This is a long shot bet here. It could go 0-0 into that second period because of how strong the defense is on both sides of the puck. So the LA Kings off a loss too. You could see them coming out really strong in this one, playing that defensive battle after they lost that one in overtime. So I think it happens with the Caps, but again, a long shot. Andrew Mangiapane has been strong at home when he faces the Kings as well. Looking at Andrew Mangiapane for the anytime goal today in this one for the Washington Capitals, I do think is in play. Now, the Kings also are 1-4 in the last 5 meetings in Washington. Of course, that plays into that home trend there that we're seeing for the Washington Capitals going 7-2-1 in their last 10 at home versus the Kings. Lamont, happy holidays, and thank you so very much. You like the fade of Allmark. You're brave. You're brave, Timothy, to fade Allmark right now. Okay, the Seattle Kraken taking on the Colorado Avalanche. Seattle off a terrible loss last night, but a great win for us. So if you altered Vegas yesterday, or if you just took Vegas straight up on the puck line over the Seattle Kraken, it was a nice way to go. If you took the Kraken's team total, that cashed as well. The Kraken now plus 225 rolling into Colorado to take on the Avs. Now, the Avs haven't been that team, that we trusted a lot to cover that puck line, but I think they can here. It's a hard situation to bet them, though, trying to find that plus money. They're minus 280 here on the money line. They're minus 1.5 at minus 105 on that puck line, total of 5.5. The 5.5 is plus 110 to the under and minus 134 to the over. My fear is, even though Joey Decourt has been playing so solid, that we could see Colorado go over or push this one over themselves. Mackenzie Blackwood solid in net. I really do trust the defense and the goaltending here for Colorado. I think Mackenzie Blackwood is going to stand on his head again. He's been great this season, even when he was with the San Jose Sharks, and I really like what he's been able to do between the pipes for them. I'm going to take Seattle's team total under 2.5. Again, this team has been struggling to score all season, so this isn't something new for them. But the problem is it's juiced. It's minus 145. I do think that they are able to stay under this. If you really want to bet Colorado, we did see this matchup already. Colorado is coming in here, home off a 4-game road trip. So that's where my fear starts to come. They're home off a 4-game road trip, and then they're on holidays after this game. Should they put on a big show for their fans out in their home arena? They absolutely should, but you kind of wonder the mindset of these teams, especially when they're returning home. Christmas is on deck for everyone. How much obligations has the wife said that they have to do? How much are they rushing to get home? So it's kind of cautious betting right now with the holidays, you guys. After we come out of the holidays, there will definitely be some fades of some teams. But this one, I think the Avs should win. I think the Avs should cover that puck line, but could they come out flat? They absolutely could, but I think it all comes down to Mackenzie Blackwood, right? He's going to stand tall in the pipes. He's going to get them this win, and I think you just count on him to play strong. Now, Cale Makar has been strong this season for Colorado as well. Nathan McKinnon, the last time they faced Seattle, we did see and now they've won 2 meetings versus Seattle, and the last one was in November. They got that big 6-3 win. In that game, Nathan McKinnon was on freaking fire. He was able to get 5 assists in that one. Mikko Rantanen got 2 goals. So those would be your playmakers. Look for Nathan McKinnon to come out nice and strong in this game again. I think Colorado should push over their team total as long as Joey Daccord has a little bit of struggle. So second night of back-to-back, you can't trust the Kraken. Let's look at the Ottawa Senators last game. I know you guys are excited to talk this one, you guys. Cheers. Happy Sunday, you guys. Let's look at the Ottawa Senators. They are taking on the Edmonton Oilers, both teams rolling hot. The Ottawa Senators, I love the value here at plus 150, but I do want more. We know Edmonton is so strong at home in their home building. They're minus 182. Total of 6.5. Minus 132 to the under and plus 108 to the over. I'm going to play around with this one a little bit. So this is a live betting situation. We know, what does Edmonton do well? Edmonton gets up and then they make these games terrifying if you have bet the Edmonton Oilers because they let teams get back into it. With how hot Ottawa has been playing, can we see Edmonton score first on Ullmark? That is a big question mark because Ullmark has been standing so tall between the pipes. He's a 12-7-2 on the season with a 2.37 goals against average, a 916 save percentage. When we look at those December numbers, you guys, he's got a goals against average below 2. So he should come into this one really tall in the net. Stuart Skinner, on the other hand, he's been hot, and I can't take that against him. Skinner is 4-2 with a 2.52 goals against average and a 909 save percentage in his 6 starts in December. So he has won 6 of his last 8 starts. So he has been hot. He's been able to get things done. This comes down to goaltending. This comes down to who you trust more between the pipes. When we look at Connor McDavid here, he has been so strong in the last matchup versus the Ottawa Senators. The Edmonton Oilers got the 5-2 win. Yeah. Back November 19th, Connor McDavid got 2 goals in that game. Connor McDavid should be able to come out here and get at least 1 on Ullmark. Can he get more than 1? I'm not sure. Zach Hyman has been so strong as well for the Edmonton Oilers as of late. Last 10 games, he has 9 goals and an assist. So Hyman and Connor McDavid would be who I would be looking at in this matchup. And then Brady Tkachuk for the Ottawa Senators. I want to live bet the Ottawa Senators plus 1.5 on the puck line once Edmonton goes up. And that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping Edmonton comes in here, gets the first goal. We can come back in on Ottawa plus the 1.5. Do I think Ottawa can win? Absolutely. I think they can. We look at their last 2 wins, though. They have been both in overtime, 3-4 last night, and then the game before 5-4 in Vancouver. So that scares me a little bit that they've had to go to overtime for their last 2 games. How tired will their legs be out here on this road trip? And then we look at the Edmonton Oilers, and yeah, they played last night too. They had to go to overtime. They've won their last 2. That was an overtime game versus the San Jose Sharks. You guys. So put that into perspective when we look at who the Ottawa Senators have faced. They've had harder matchups, but that's the thing. They've had harder matchups. So how tired are the legs? Could we see overtime between these 2 teams? I think we could. I want to live bet it once we get more value as well. Timothy hoping the Ottawa Senators come down to earth. I hear you. This team is rolling so freaking hot right now. Can they roll into the holidays with another win? They could. So be cautious when you're betting this one, you guys. I do think because of how goaltending is, this one stays under that total. But I'm hoping, again, we see some movement on this total. 6.5 minus 132 to the under. I really don't want to bet it at this point, but I do think we will see it stay under. I'm hoping we get a fast goal and then we get the positive money to the under 6.5. So that is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping Edmonton goes up. nice and quick, I can come in, bet the under 6.5 and the Ottawa Senators plus 1.5 on the puck line. Because right now the Ottawa Senators plus 1.5 or minus 170. I do think this one goes to OT. So the overtime bet in this game, the other one we were looking at for OT was plus 310. This one to go to overtime is coming in at plus 310 as well. The book's really playing around with those numbers. And if it goes to overtime, man, can it go to a shootout? I think this one could go all the way to a shootout today. I think this is an exciting game out there on the ice. But you guys, 20 minutes in, 6 games in, let's do the recap. I hope everyone is enjoying their Sunday morning so far. I'm ready to drink some more coffee, start watching these 11 o'clock games, but then I am on the grid. Make sure you come over, join myself, Adam Kaufman, and Scott Wett. So we are live from 4:20 Eastern today on the grid, all the way through to 8 o'clock, going over these afternoon games. You guys are going to be some great matchups out there in the NFL. I can hardly wait. Okay, recap time. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, check out the SportsGrid app for the Madden Quickie. The Carolina Hurricanes taking on the New York Rangers. Hold your nose. Bet the Rangers plus 125. Home dog here. They have had the upper hand, especially at home as of late, but the upper hand over the Carolina Hurricanes. Seth Jarvis, though, would be your playmaker if you just want to look at someone for the Carolina Hurricanes in this matchup, and Panarin for the New York Rangers. The Anaheim Ducks and the Utah Hockey Club. I think Doss still has been playing strong hockey. Give me the Utah Hockey Club under 3.5 goals at minus 108. Dylan Strome, though, if you're looking for someone for the Ducks to get on the board, Dylan Strome is where I'd go for the Anaheim Ducks. The Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. This is a home and road situation here for Tampa. They will be in Florida tomorrow, so Florida road and home situation. These two teams are so scrappy. Both have great special teams, great power plays, great kills. This will come down to which team can capitalize on those opportunities. I do think the Florida Panthers at minus 110 have the ability to roll into Tampa and get the win. I love how they're playing right now. I do think this one starts off hot out of the gate. Give me the over 1.5 in the first period at minus 130. Both teams to score at plus 160. The Florida Panthers have been strong in Tampa, winning 4 of the last 5 meetings in Tampa. Power play points is where I'm going to look. Braden Point for the power play point tonight for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and Sam Reinhart for the power play point for the Florida Panthers. If these don't cash tonight, I'm going right back to both of those guys on the power play tomorrow. So make sure you circle that as well. The LA Kings versus the Washington Capitals. I do think the Kings, even though they're strong on that second night of a back-to-back, fall here to the Washington Capitals. The Capitals are playing so strong at home as a favorite, 6-1-2 at home as a favorite on the season. They've also had the Kings number, especially when at home, 7-2-1 in their last 10 games at home versus the LA Kings. I'm going to take a long shot bet here on the Capitals on the puck line in the first period, minus 0.5 goal at plus 160. You guys know I love that freaking plus money. I like the Kings team total under 2.5 as well. The Seattle Kraken versus the Colorado Avalanche. I know the Avs are returning home in this matchup. Seattle off a terrible loss last night to the Las Vegas Golden Knights. I think we see the Colorado Avalanche win this. The puck line is a little dangerous. I do think Seattle's team total stays under 2.5. Not a lot of value at minus 145. I'd look at Cale Makar to be able to get on the board today, but also Nathan McKinnon. We know the first time these teams matched up, the Avs, or the second time, they've faced each other twice. Colorado's won both of them. The second time, Colorado was able to win 6-3. Nathan McKinnon had 5 assists in that one, and Mikko Rantanen was able to put up 2 goals. So those are your 3 playmakers. I'm touching nothing on the Seattle Kraken. I think they struggle. If you want to look at the Avs, if the value keeps going, if you're starting to get more value on the line as the day goes on that puck line, but there's not enough value for me right now. And then the Ottawa Senators versus the Edmonton Oilers. This is going to come down to Allmark versus Skinner. Which goaltender can stand taller between the pipes? You guys know which goaltender I trust more. I do trust Allmark. I know the Ottawa Senators have been rolling so hot. You guys are looking to see them fall. I just don't know if they fall here. Now, these teams matched up in November. Edmonton was able to get that 5-2 win. Connor McDavid got 2 beautiful goals in that game. Zach Hyman's been playing strong for Edmonton. So those would be your playmakers if you think Edmonton gets up. I would look at Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman, parlay those guys together for their point. As long as you're getting plus money on that parlay together, I would be hitting on it. I think Brady Tkachuk can come out strong for the Ottawa Senators in this one. I want to live bet the Ottawa Senators if Edmonton goes up. So that is what I'm hoping. I think this one stays under the total of 6.5. It's too juiced right now. I think this one goes to overtime. That's coming in at plus 310. I'll put the overtime bet in right now. I want to see Edmonton get up, and then I'm going to jump on the Ottawa Senators plus 1.5 when it's like minus 110. I don't want to lay minus 170 on the Ottawa Senators right now. So that is how I'm going to play this one. I want to live bet it. I really do think overtime is in play between these two teams. I think this is a lower scoring game. I just don't want to lay minus 132 either. Okay, you guys, I see all of your no, don't quit gambling if the Ottawa Senators win this game. You're right. The Edmonton Oilers have been playing strong. You look at them 7-1 in their last 8 games. This team is playing a great, Timothy. So I just think this is a tight game, right? Edmonton could win in overtime, or we could see the Ottawa Senators win in overtime. It all comes down to Ullmark and how he plays, and Skinner. And when I look at that, Ullmark or Skinner, who would you rather? If you're playing dodgeball, well, not dodgeball. If you're playing hockey, let's just say if you're playing hockey, who do you want in your goal? I want Ullmark. I don't want Skinner. I don't have enough faith in him. Can the defense, the Edmonton Oilers, lock down in front of him and really limit the Ottawa Senators' ability, especially on that power play? Remember, the Sens have a strong power play. Edmonton can't play a scrappy game. They can't allow Brady Tkachuk to get under their skin. Brady Tkachuk is just like Matthew Tkachuk. He causes those situations out there and causes the other team to end up in the penalty box, and then they convert on that power play. Be very, very careful betting against the Ottawa Senators on that power play. Brady Tkachuk for the power play point now that I talk about it. But you guys, I love where you're going. Colorado 3-way money line. Yeah, I think Colorado in reg should be able to get it done as well. Yeah, keep the defibrillator out. That was like me watching some of the games yesterday, you guys. So much stress watching these games. But we have a full slate of NFL 6 games on the ice today. It should be a great day of betting. I appreciate each and every one of you for joining me here. My Cup of Joe is out and posted. I talk like forever on my morning Cup of Joe. I got to have an afternoon Cup of Joe still to talk the afternoon game. So make sure you watch for that. We got a great slate, and then I'll have a nighttime Cup of Joe as well. So stay tuned for all of that. What about the Wranglers? Oh, Mike, I know the Wranglers. I love watching them play. I'm not betting them. It's really hard to find any lines for the Calgary Wranglers out there. But they are playing some great hockey. You enjoy your day as well. You guys, I will be back tomorrow here at noon Eastern. We got a loaded Monday slate, and then we'll be off for a couple days, but still make sure you come back. I will have my quickies. I will have my Cup of Joes. Everything still will be out and posted. We just won't have any action out there on the ice, but I appreciate each and every one of you. Let's make some freaking money today. I will talk to you guys. Hit some anytime goal scorers as well as save shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some freaking money. It's time for Bucket with Joe.